Hi everyone, I'm Paquel and this is my second video. So, so every time I post a video, I want to say this is my 70th video or this is my 115th, 115th video. I don't want to do that, so I need to think of a name. Okay, so the world of a TBI, that don't even have a ring. The crazy world of a No. That's rule number one. You don't use crazy and TBI in the same sentence. Okay, so in the mind of a TBI survivor. How about that? I think that's it. So let's start over. Hi guys, and I'm Paquel, and you're tuning into In the Mind of a TBI Survivor. Okay, so this week we are going to look at TBI and how long one has a TBI. Last week, I celebrated my 6th TBI anniversary. That's 6 years of living with a TBI. So if I celebrated 6 years last week, how long do you have a TBI for? Well, in a Facebook group that I am in for TBI survivors, of course, Jenna Mercado, she asked the question: is a TBI ever past tense, as in I had a TBI, or is it always I have a TBI? Well, Craig Martin said this to say in response: it's a forever unless God sees different. So he says you are always going to say I have a TBI. Now, Jill Foxhall, she says, most people use the term TBI to mean an injury that has caused brain damage. The terms are often used interchangeably. Therefore, they have a TBI. Sorry guys, but I'm reading. They have a TBI, and their brain will never return to its pre-TBI condition. If someone was diagnosed with a TBI by a doctor, chances are that the effects will last a lifetime. Most doctors don't label head injuries as TBIs unless they're quite serious. And yes, I am aware that a concussion is considered a mild TBI. My husband can walk, talk, and even drive, but it is clearly evident that he has a TBI. Someone else said this about TBI: I say I have had a head injury which affects XYZ. XYZ. That's the past progressive tense. I had something once that is still affecting me. And my response to Jenna's question, sorry Jenna, my response was, have is used to explain life changes such as your behavior and physical disability limitations, and had is used to explain the structural damage. I had a brain injury in 2010, but I still have some deficits as a result. Doctors can't say when the brain will heal, but nerves were damaged, resulting in changes to your body in different ways, and it affects your personality, emotions, and other areas. No time stamp can be put on this part of the healing process. And so, like Craig said, TBI is forever. And why? Because as Jill stated, because your brain will never return to its pre-TBI condition. And someone said, the brain damage will never completely go away. But I have improved so much. I love neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity basically says You can teach a dog, and you can teach an old dog new tricks. And what you are doing is you are retraining your brain to do something. So once you practice something repeatedly, then and it becomes second nature to you, such as learning to walk. You're training yourself to do something, and so all you have to do is practice doing something repeatedly, and then the neurons will become natural to you, and that's called neuroplasticity. Okay, so back to brain injuries. Now, how are TBIs caused? Well, there are many ways, but there are three main ways: car accidents, firearms, and falls. Also, there are several types of brain injuries. You have open head injury. That's caused mostly by gunshot wound or something. Gunshot, something. Then you have a closed head injury, deceleration injuries, or diffuse axonal injury. You have chemical or toxic. You have injuries that are caused by chemicals or toxins. Then you have hypoxia, that's lack of oxygen. It is caused by tumors, infections, or even strokes. And yes, it is even a concussion can cause the TBI. So we have these different ways that the TBI that one can acquire a traumatic brain injury. So all brain injuries are devastating to the individual and to their loved ones or their close circle. But when an injury is not a focal brain injury, such as the case with a open head injury. So what a focal brain injury is, it is what a focal brain injury does is it's an injury that is confined to one region of your brain. So that means, we have four different lobes. We have the frontal lobe, we have the parietal lobe, we have the temporal lobe, and we have the occipital lobe. I guess I'll go into that more in details a bit later. But we have these four lobes, and a focal brain injury can impact one region of the brain. So if your temporal lobe is damaged, you can actually lose lose the ability to speak, or you can lose the ability to hear. If your occipital lobe is damaged, you can lose your vision. So, but with a diffuse axonal injury, that means every region of your brain was impacted. So your ability, your sense of touch, that may be affected. Your sight may be affected. Your hearing or even your speech may be affected. And with your frontal lobe being damaged, even your reasoning abilities, your logic, your personality may have been altered. So in my case, I had a DAI, that's a diffuse axonal injury. So my speech, the way I spoke, changed. My parietal lobe is damaged. My nerve or sense of touch was affected. My occipital lobe was affected. I wear glasses now. For 20 years of my life, I never wore glasses. And with my frontal lobe being damaged, I find that even my personality has changed. The person who I am today is not the person I used to be, But anyway, so that's the difference between a focal brain injury and a diffuse axonal injury. So, now for TBI survivors who have a diffuse axonal injury, like it doesn't matter, whatever injury you have, when it's your brain, your entire life is changed. So basically, for any TBI survivor, to those looking at us, we look fine. But if you would look a bit deeper, or if you would even listen closely to what we are saying, then you would realize that we're not fine in actuality, because we are not the person we used to be, and we are now just getting to know the person we are. So anyway, guys, see, I had to stay to the script, and guess what? That's 10 minutes. I'm so proud of myself. Give me a pat on the back. Okay, so anyway, guys, I really enjoy talking about this. And from the day I came out of the hospital, I think that was January 19th, I came home out of the hospital. And that week, right away, I went online and I began to read about my injury, how it will affect me. I began reading about the Glasgow coma scale, coma scale. That's persons who are in a coma. The lower you are on this Glasgow coma scale, the less chance of survival one has. So I began reading on that because I was in a coma. So I wanted to see what that was about. And then I also wanted to read about my injury so that I have a pretty good idea of what I can expect. And so since a lot of persons aren't really reading, or well, I don't know what you are doing, but I know when you have a brain injury, you want to know what's going on because you want to be able to quickly find your new place in this old life again. But for some reason you are unable to, because we're too sensitive, we're too emotional now, and so this is my outlet, talking. And so I just want to be able to share with you, and hopefully this will give you some insight to your brain injury, or how you can handle your loved one who was directly impacted. And so, guys, I look forward to speaking to you at great length some more about DAI. I don't know if they say day or die. I don't know if doctors use that term, or if they say DAI. But the type of injury I had, because I did a lot of research on that, seeing that I was impacted by that. But I definitely will speak to you about some more things, such as dating after TBI, and dating and relationships after TBI, even friendships after TBI, and psychological or mental well-being after TBI. So it's a lot of things that we can speak about, because hey, this is the brain that we're talking about. This is your life. This is my life. This is our life. And together we're going to figure it out. And together we're going to be better than we were yesterday. So bye, guys. I'll see you all next week on In the Mind of a TBI Survivor. I even have the announcer's voice, hey. Anyway, bye, guys.